Enrico Pucci is one of JoJo's greatest and most complex villains, and Dio's greatest soldier. He did what Dio would never dream of, saving a Joestar, and not just any Joestar, but the entire bloodline. The Joestar bloodline has had a family curse starting from their ancestral origin, the first Joestar, Jonathan Joestar. He died fighting Dio Brando, his vampire brother. After Jonathan and George Joestar II, who all died young in their bizarre adventures, when Joseph Joestar is introduced, it became a superstition that all the men in the Joestar family would die before they reached their 40s, just like Joseph's father and his grandfather, Jonathan and George Joestar. But Joseph Joestar, being the prodigal son, beat the curse and actually lived to see old age. JOJO! JOJO が生きてる! But the curse wasn't beaten. Curse just changed. The same way the family changed. And things get even more bizarre from then on because it causes synchronicity. It changes just when Jotaro Kujo comes into the picture. This time, the curse was taking all of the Joestar family members to work, because the powers that be were at work, like stands or the family curse. During Jotaro's time is when stands start appearing. Stands are a user's fighting spirit given form that stands with their users. Why they're called stands. Stands come in a variety of forms with different versatility. Some ugly, some humanoid, but all deadly. A lot of pros, but some big cons, cause stands come with their own curse. Stand users will always meet other stand users, but it's a toss-up if they become friends or ops. So mixing that with the Joestar family curse is like poison stacking with a multiplier. The chip damage keeps chipping. Starting from part 3 Stardust Crusaders, where stands become more and more common, this is when the curse changed. As we see through part 3, 4, and 5, just as people or things started getting stands, the Joestar family curse and the stand curse fused into something that will cause nothing but trouble for the Joestar family. Like being connected on the spiritual level, that stands are like the red string of fate for the Joestars. But this red string led them to their savior, to the one person that will finally break them from their centuries-long curse. Enrico Pucci, ironically a hero. He is the main villain of part 6, who funnily enough is not only the villain to Jolyne Kujo, a Joestar, the main character of part 6 and Jotaro's daughter, but also a successor of Dio Brando. Just as Jolyne is the direct successor of the Joestar bloodline, Enrico Pucci is a successor to Dio's dreams and ideals. Enrico knew the Joestar would be a threat to his goals, just like they were a threat to many others. So carry on his will, Enrico was determined to beat the Joestars to reach his heaven. In a way, this is like Mr. Smith and Neo in The Matrix all over again. Two characters on opposite sides, but sharing the same fate and being linked to the other's growth. Like how Neo and Mr. Smith both became the one through their respective verse and being possible to fulfill a prophecy. This was Pucci and Jolyne's story, both fighting a fate tied by blood. Pucci was following Dio's design to reach heaven, but was missing some key details, like how, which is all the more symbolically important because Enrico Pucci is a priest, and not just any priest, a father priest. So he made a plan to get the missing pieces by getting them through Jotaro by any means, like framing Jolyne and holding her hostage in prison. Jolyne was a normal girl that just got bad luck, but through most of Pucci's game of cat and mouse, the challenges were giving her strength, courage, and the will to fight, awakening the fighting spirit in her Joestar bloodline. It's the same way how the Matrix series, both Neo and Mr. Smith share the same fate, and both of them lead to the other's growth. Pucci's goal, Stairway to Heaven, was basically for all the things in the universe, like humans and animals, to basically speedrun their experience until a new universe was formed and everything else was speedrunning its existence. With the new universe, everything would be exactly the same as the original universe, but this time with all the experiences animals and humans had lived through, giving everyone like an extreme case of deja vu. But he knew the Joestar would try to get in his way, so he had to kill them before the new universe was fully set. And in the end, he did, technically. Technically, Enrico Pucci did kill the Joestars, Jotaro and Jolyne. But that's how he saved them. Because in this new universe, there wasn't any Jotaro or Jolyne. So that meant no direct bloodline of the Joestars, or at least there wasn't, because in the final moment before the new universe became permanent, Enrico was beaten by Imperial El Nino. His defeat undid all the work he had done, sort of like a reset, which brought back the old universe with everyone else in it. Everyone except the Joestar. Because the Joestars died in the old universe right before the reset, they weren't brought back exactly as before. The same way the new universe tried to fill in the missing pieces left by the missing Joestars, the old universe had to do the same. So the Joestars were brought back, but they weren't the same. Old but new, refurbished Joestars. But this is what finally broke them free of their cursed bloodlines. It can be a bittersweet ending depending on how you look at it. On the one hand, the true Joestars, the ones we followed on their bizarre adventure, the ones that have been fighting the curse for so long, are gone. While on the other hand, the Joestar spirits still won in the end. And while they might not have the scars we remember of the Joestars, their spirit still lives on, even if slightly different, which was the true strength of the Joestar. And the Joestar bloodline wasn't the only thing saved. So yeah, he kills, but in the end, Enrico Pucci saved more than he killed. He saved the Joestars.